Alright, I would like to introduce you a little bit about myself, right? My curriculum vitae. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very sorry, I've just got my hair cut. It looks more handsome and youthful, right? I think I like to be simple in the other eyes. I feel a little timid now. Can you see my cheeks? Alright, I blush for Sam. One guy asked me, excuse me, we know a little information about you, but we would like to know more. Would you like to tell me some more details about you, sir? And I replied, no, you don't know that if you are a Western guest, you will surely know that nobody ask any private information about someone. But okay, that's not my problem because I'm healthy, but I'm not a wealthy man. Therefore, I think I don't need to keep anything in secret. Sure, I don't think I have anything for concealing. I would like to introduce myself. I'm just a normal Vietnamese, but I think we have some different mentalities. Why could the German build jobs for almost all the people in Europe, but can we not? I think we can do more and have more people. I wish I could bring benefits to everybody in the world and make everyone feel happier. Many people in the world, they wish to live here in Vietnam, even some Singaporeans, Australians, Americans, English, etc., because our country is going up very fast nowadays. Moreover, the landscapes here are very natural, beautiful, and diverse. Climate here is also mild. The life here is so easy, and especially this is the safest country for living in the world now, etc. Just some months later, when you come here for visiting, I think you will realize that Vietnam is the best country for living. It's worth living, I'm sure. And I'm also sure that if you communicate with me, I can bring you more profits. You wish on new properties in Vietnam, to estate, for example. I can make a good deal with Vietnamese companies here to offer you many kinds of landlords and nice apartments, buildings, give prices, for example, for instance, etc. In a good location with good prices. I can speak English very well. Contact me by this handphone number, give message, or it's okay. Plus 84918121712 or plus 84948121712. This email address is being protected from spam. Alright, wow. So come here and earn more profits together with me, please. I also have two meaningful domains for you if you want to run a job such as a little Vietnamese tourist company. I would like to sell on the domains worldwide. HTTP, alright, wordtrips.com.vn or vgoing.com.vn. Some days later you can visit me via my own site, daosaigon.com, and I live here in District 9, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And now I would like to turn back to my curriculum vitae, okay? First of all, I would like to ask you just some questions. Do you play any kind of sports in your hometown? Do you love football? Do you remember Mr. Rivaldo, a Brazilian footballer? He was born in Paulista on the Wednesday, 19 April 1972, right? On the next day, Mr. Lê Huỳnh Đức, a Vietnamese footballer, was born. This day was also the day making some events important. Most common elector an American actress who was also born on this day in Sarajevo, and this time was nearly the end of the Vietnam War. The American presidential advisor Henry Kissinger arrived in Moscow on a secret mission to meet with Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev and Foreign Minister Andrei Gromyko. Mr. Kissinger's mission remained until Monday, and his visit was not announced until the day after his return. On the next day, the Friday, April 21st, 1972, the American astronauts John W. Young and Charles Duke became the 9th and the 10th persons to walk on the moon. This was also the Sweden past. There was the first long officially recognizing change of gender was the amendment of civil registration rules to accommodate change of birth registrations for individuals who had undergone or applied to have such change surgery. That's on Wikipedia. I got them. And this was also the important day because I was born this day, and I'm also sure that I'm a dirty man indeed. I don't want or don't need to have any such change surgery. I think the above events when I was born may affect my characters. I could be, or it could be. Yeah, I like sports, especially. I do like to practice martial arts such as wushu, traditional martial arts, aikido, etc. I have played aikido for more than 20 years and used to be the instructor for nearly 5 years. I also tried to create an aikido club at my hometown in District 9, but my wife and children and niece at the time called me back. This practice also formed my unique characters. I'm honest and friendly, easy for approaching to be frank, punctual, loyal, and patient, etc. I could wait for more than 10 years, exactly 11 years, to build a new job. Oh, sorry, I go too deeply into my own case. Now I turn back, alright? Sometimes you should bring me back. If not, I forget. I forget who I am. Thanks God. After giving birth, my mother carried me on the balance Stratton basket. Many women in Vietnam, all women, they do that with their job to support their children, go to school, go to universities, and you should remember all of the mothers. Maybe your mother also, right? They work very hard. Yeah. Right. Turn back here. Sometimes it goes too far. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah. After giving birth, my mother carried me on the balance Stratton baskets, which many women in Vietnam use for selling something in. She put me here at the top of that basket. Some dried rice, salt, and pepper were put here at the back, and she walked on barefoot from Pin Long province, Pin Phuoc now, near Cambodian border to Saigon as refugee. And it was about 300 kilometers from there to Saigon. She also brought many tales of gold at the back. But it was too heavy, so she threw them away on the rice field. It was the tragedy also. We saw many greedy men lay down their lives for searching gold on the rice fields, pour them grasp on and you will lose all. Sometimes she was really tired. Yeah. And she laid me down on for a short napping day by day. After all, we came back home in Saigon after nearly 1 month. Our neighbors, relatives, and friends in Saigon started us as if we had been dead on. Thanks God, we lived longer than we thought. It was the red summer in 1972. I think everybody in the world knows this incident. You can seek back information from these links on the internet. downhillbn.wordpress.com, Fun Vietnam and more. On Wikipedia, yeah, chiến dịch Xuân Hè 1972. Alright, sorry. Our country was unified in 1975 as the South collapsed. Nearly 135,000 Vietnamese fled this country by helicopters. Over the next 5 years, at least 500,000 of our compatriots would do the same by using boat at the Eastern Sea. I think we've ever heard some information about the boat people in this case. We were among them. I mean my uncle, my elder brother, and me. Not only us, but most of the South at that time. We feared the North communists because we didn't know anything about them. Maybe they killed all the first, even most of my marginal family members, Kuchi people. Right? And there were many tragedy families before 1975. Some families had some members supported to the South and some supported to the North, but the North supporters kept separate from their family members. Of course, sometimes they try to have their family members just try to save their family members' lives by leaking some bad information out. For example, I was in Vietcong, but my elder brother was captain in the South government. One day I knew that the communists would attack a point where my elder brother had the task there. I would like to have my brother without leaking any news, so I could invite him to go somewhere for traveling on that day. He didn't know anything. He just thought that he was really lucky when he heard some bad news in Saigon. If he had gone there for working on that day, he could be died. And my uncle was a soldier before 1975, so he felt very nervous. He tried to escape this country many times, but couldn't. He always failed. He lost much money for doing these cases. I could remember when I was young, in 1981 or 1989, 9 years old. At that time, I'm just 9 years old. My uncle asked me and my elder brother to leave this country. That was the nicest summer in my life. Do you know why? Because my daddy was passed away in 1974. And I will tell you something about him later at the other side. So, and of course, my mother should carry the whole big family on her shoulders, poor her, and I should have my mother one hand when I was 7. We sold cigarettes case such as dầu thảo in Chinese. Yeah. 您身体好吗？我就是敬酒 you know. Yeah. 懂不懂啦？我不懂啦。Yeah. 油条 a Chinese cruller Chinese strips or Chinese oil steaks or on fried pastry, peanuts, lottery tickets, etc. At the corner on the street. Sometimes we wander around like street vendors, and that summer was the 3rd class at the elementary school, John Wilton School, turned to be Hong-Ban University now. I'd like to go traveling. Therefore, that was the first time for traveling in my life. That was also the reason why I felt very happy. We went to Ban Trang, Vĩnh Long province. I didn't know exactly by motorcycles. I liked the feeling exposed my face against some strong winds on road when I was on bike. But all of us were in jail at Chaon Market, I think in Vĩnh Long province near Kansas City. After waiting some hours in the bamboo grove next to the canal. Wow, I felt fun with many mosquitoes there. And of course, when we were transferred by rowing on a small sampan schooner to a big boat at the Eastern Ocean, the police stopped us. We were there at Chaon Market for 2 months, etc. Right? Time flies. I grew up fastly as a good boy in my mother's arms. She's so good. She carried me and the other siblings in the big family. I have totally 5 siblings. My elder brother is a traditional doctor now, the same job as my own uncle. They inherited this job from my grandfather, who was a popular doctor around 1989. He came here for resettlement with nearly all of his family from the north in 1954, exactly from Hai Sing, Haiphong now. I heard that he was also a good principal at the high school in Dalan, romantic Flower City, before 1975. He was also a very romantic man. He composed many poems. When he was alive, he passed away when I finished my senior high school. I don't want to talk too much about him now. That's a serious case for the next topic, I think. And now I turn back to this subject. My younger brother was a mechanic, but he didn't do that job. He's a real estate agent now. Sometimes life is not easy. You cannot do what you dream, right? I also have a couple of twin younger sisters, but for them, the other one is better. She's a surgery. The other younger is a mental patient. And you should also notice our country is not only a motorcycle country, but a country of Porsches. Do you know why? Because most of us cannot find the dream job after graduating, even at some best universities. Therefore, we choose to be bosses. It's not easy to be like that. No way. Lives in our country were better after the opening gate to the world in 1986. I could remember the life here before that time. We waited so long time in the long queue for getting only a small bowl of rice for the whole week per one family. So we should add anything, any food which we found on the way of living. Sweet potatoes, manioc, that's a kind of tapioca, chopped cheese, or Chinese turned pali, corn, etc. My mother is a dearly Vietnamese woman. I love her so much, but fuck me. Yeah, I cannot do anything more for having her now. You know that in Vietnam, women are supposed to be model images. They are courageous, patient, responsible, loyal, faithful, painstaking, honest, righteous, etc. How many words can I depict them all? No words, I think, etc. She lost her husband in the war in 1974. My father was a good Western doctor for the South government. He was a very good man. I'm really proud of his behavior. But on one case, he tried to rescue an American soldier on the battlefield in Vĩnh Long province in 1974. I think that this American guy may be the advisor, because most of the Americans left our country in 1973 after taking effect of the Paris Accords. That guy had a wound on his leg. My father tried to give him medicine injection on his body artery or his body vein to protect him from infectious situation. He just tried to treat him from diseases and tried to save the patient. But you know that the man felt painful and kicked on my father's arms accidentally, without intention. And just by natural reflection. And of course, my father's arm was considerably swollen with that kicking. It would have been nothing wrong if my father had used the same medicine injection for himself with a full belly of food, because he was very tired and too hungry in the afternoon after a hardship of rescue mission on the battlefield, but couldn't. He felt shocked after having the injection and passed away at the age of 31. I have this saying, we live by the sword and also die by the sword, etc. I passed an examination to be joined into the Social Sciences and Humanities University around 1992. I'm not sure, but I couldn't afford to be there because my elder brother took a severe sickness. That was the hard time of my family. I must find any job to support my family first. I didn't have any skill, but the skill of practicing martial art in Aikido. No, I couldn't speak any words in English. I learned Russian when I was at the high school because I was a good boy when I was young. That was destiny. Shit, I forgot all of that. The Russian when I went to work. My first job was a cleaner at a restaurant for nearly 4 years. Even my relative there was a personal director. Thanks God. I learned that if you had got the little ability of speaking English, your life would have been changed, would have been better. And I wish I had got not only B-level certificate in English, but also master's at any faculties. You know that you didn't need to waste your time for changing B-level in English 2 years, every 2 years. And I thought very simply, if you had got the master diploma in professional job, you could have passed any interviews just to be a waiter or waitress. You would have a good life and you could contribute something to help your family, and that's all. So I got B-level certificate in English at Pedagogic University in Ho Chi Minh City, in 1995. Therefore, I thought I could change my job. I applied my form to be a waiter at the new Queen Bee discotheque in the city center. Simultaneously, I joined in the cooking staff of the Jollibee fast food restaurant in the daytime for nearly 2 years, above 2 jobs. You know, I like cooking. I felt very happy when I saw anyone enjoy my food tastefully. It would have been good here, but men proposed got disposed. In 1997, New Quimby discotheque was in. I kept going on the job of a member in the cooking staff at Jollibee for some more months, and I decided to quit this job. I needed my money for living and supporting my family. However, I had some friends here, and one of them turned to be my wife later. We had some memories together there. At the first time, I didn't love her. Indeed, even now, I'm not sure I love her or not. All right, maybe I am. My heart is very big. I love everyone in the world. Yeah, so I cannot recognize what's the love, the private love from a couple. Yeah, it's okay, but it's okay. Sometimes life like that. I didn't think I could love anyone. The boy at the age of 24, I thought was just a little child. I started practicing Aikido in the early morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the even days. Then I went to Jollibee factory for working there until 5 p.m. and I came back home, had a quick nap after such a harsh time. Then I came to my job at night from 7 p.m. until 1 a.m. at New Quimby discotheque. I liked the girl who was the cleaner's daughter, but she was really nice, gentle, and virtuous. She had thoughtful and meditative characters like me. She had the real feminine, discreet charm. I liked that style, and I nearly fell in love with her certain smile. Definitely, handsome is as handsome does. You know, goodness is better than beauty. I mean, etc. My wife was older than me, 5 years old. I respected her as an older sister. I usually got her a lift to be back home by bicycle and sometimes by motorcycle. Of course, occasionally we were under a shadow of a tree or a roof of a house. This camp heavy rains outside. I thought destiny drew us together. I called her elder sister firstly. Some months later, she asked me just call her name. Okay, Lam means orchid flowers. That was a beautiful name, I thought. And after getting married, we called Daddy and Mommy until now. Okay, blah 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 blah. I came back to Saigon Tourist Corporation company at Liberty Hotels as a waiter position, a the restaurant, a housekeeper later, and then a cloakroom attendant at the massage area. Totally, I was my time there nearly 11 years. That's the official company. Every people were just the workers to get salary monthly, and you know that everybody's business is nobody's business. Too many coats of spoil the broth later. That was the Vietnamese landscape in the past. I don't mean now. You can imagine what our country would be like when you watch this movies series from Taiwan and Singapore. Những năm tháng ấy on this link series. It means the past remembering days in translation. It will give you a totally depicting landscape of the Singapore around 1964-63 in sure the Singapore country before becoming the dragon of economy in the world. Blah 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 blah. So I learned many things from them, the company, but bad and good together. face them. I took advantage of my time to get not only some certificates of using office computer, of basic accounting skill, etc., but also a Bachelor of Arts in Major English at Supplementary time at Social Sciences and Humanities University in 2006, and some more certificates in 2007 of higher economic specialist at the Vietnamese National University, Ho Chi Minh City, of communication skills for customer serving at the Business Administration Institute, and of course, especially the skill of housekeeping to be a good wife later. Yeah, really like this job. The skill to look after our guests in any restaurants. Okay, that was good. I got more than I paid. I just felt regretful that I paid too much of time there. I decided to quit my job as a master's area requirement attendant here, despite the fact that the income per month was a little interesting thing, and the job was a stable job for me. I needed a good little to pay my whole life for. I found that when you are a man of rich mentality, you are on the stomach of thinking. You pour scorn on the other folks. I could feel great empathy with Mr. Bill Gates when he left his university, or the curriculum, circumstance of Mr. Steve Jobs when he left his own company. Sometimes I thought profoundly about our lives, and I had some questions like the movie we saw already. Who am I? Why were we here? What were the functions of Earth when we appear here? I felt lonely and fell into a depressed mood at times, and occasionally I was nearly resigned to my fate. Right, that is the past. Yeah, all right. My thinking the past, not now. Yeah, that is the reason why. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, that's it. Yeah, forget that. You know that my wife was older than me 5 years, right? And of course, she was hardly to find any job at the age of over 30. The future looked rather gloomy, but we lived in hope. I feel fond of reading and studying. I desired a job for my wife as a shop seller. I was here her high-ranking counselor. I think I tried to earn more and more to give her some advices at times. We have some ready-made fashionable clothes at the market near home since 1998. My wife was not a pretty girl, but she was graceful, assiduous, means diligent. I'm sorry. And especially, she has a flair for selling and highly discerning eyes for fashionable choosing. She has the ability of appraising with certainty. Generally, she is a dearly efficient woman, and you should pay a little attention to this talk. I use present tense on occasion because that character has been changed. I felt sorry for any company not choosing her. She just got senior high school certificate in supplementary time, but she was good in working. She got an extra help to her family when she was young, like me. What a ridiculous story about him. Even now, sometimes some girls went across our shop, had posed there. They felt astonished by our fashion style. They almost stared the amazement at her when I revealed the secret to them about her ability. They didn't judge me, and they didn't think on the delicate modern fashion things here were chosen by an old woman at the age of 50 now. Therefore, I touched her to tell not the truth to our guests that all that stuff were cooked by her daughter or her staff. If not, our guests will leave us. You know, most of the people judge a man by his appearance. So I accepted the judge decision from them. No way. So it's really funny that once some young student girls went past our shop, they saw me learn English in front of the shop. I usually review my tourist pictures before implementing the tours, and a few days later, and they asked me amazingly, "Oh, my uncle is really surprised when we see you here learning English. Why? Why do you learn that language at this young age? What do you learn English for?" They didn't know that I was also an old tourist guide in English language. Uncle Ho said that we should learn more to be better and to change our lives, right? But I couldn't explain anything. I just always smiled and replied them just for fun. That's all. This was also one of the reasons why I tried to create this website, daosaigon.com. So, don't judge a book by its cover, okay? So, most of our guests in the past time, I think in the past, were students at the college is nearby. But now we try to change. We are playing at a higher demand consumers, and we also knew that many consumers were still not comfortable making purchases on the internet because of the poor quality products and the fake commodities in our country. Hasn't the time gone quickly? No, just us who killed the time. We don't know exactly how much for a living. It's really short, right? And what are purposes we live for? Most of Vietnamese, we don't have any clear plan for our lives. Next morning, we think the weather is good, and then we take our backpack to go traveling to your country, to anywhere. We don't know. It's different, right? But we go traveling when we have enough money or more in our pockets. That's the Asian style. Blah 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 blah. The time has gone quickly. We have 2 children. A daughter is I think 17 years old now, and our son is just only 13 or 14. Right? I didn't choose to be a tourist guide. That job chose me. I didn't have any close fellows in this way. But once a chap learned English together with my university, got me a chance to be a tourist guide. I could remember the first time when I was as a tourist guide from 2007. I knew is the first step is troublesome. I like much this job. I can go traveling anywhere I want without paying. I wrote lots of information on my arms to give my guests. There was just only one, maybe businessman. We should transfer him to Cái Bè Tàu in Mekong when he was the Western tourist in rich of traveling culture, of course. He had the keen sense of intelligence to recognize me was just the amateur one. But he smiled gently and mercifully. He gave me a glance, shook my hand warmly, my hands, and I thought maybe the whole my body was trembled like a leaf. All my body was shocked, wet and shocking wet in sweat. Thanks him, thanks my classmate, and thanks to the local Chin-Chin.vn also, where Mr. Tan, a good owner, gave me the chance to do this job. I learned the new culture from Western guys. We shouldn't be late even 5 minutes. That was the big problem. We should take care not only our lives but also the other lives and the environment around. Blah blah blah. In our country, most of us would be close with our own property, wasteful with the others. If we together everywhere on the road, or we dump some pieces of chewing gum on the chair, on the wall, or on the bed in buses or in public areas, these actions were too rude and were the bad behaviors to the others, including smoking and drinking, etc. We should protect the environment where we lived. A bad habit, that goes on us if we are not careful. I worked for the local Chin-Chin.vn nearly 2 years. Then I left this nice company to be a tourist freelance guy in English. I don't want to accept my many tours as the other guys do. 1 tour a week, that's enough. I need some days off to look after my children, and I think a short pause to get back the energy to enjoy our lives, to sip some coffee in the early morning, to gain the knowledge and soul accumulation better, right? And also have enough time to prepare carefully for the next tour. This was very important. Every guest has his own world and his own character, and they are very different and sophisticated. We are also not the same, right? I thought we shouldn't postpone until tomorrow what we could do today. So I took advantage of this time to get more for enriching my knowledge. I designed my job not as a tourist guide but also a teacher in English and tutor in practice in Aikido. I graduated the third dan and the certificate of teaching Aikido around this time also. Simultaneously, again, the certificate of university education teacher in theory at the Social Sciences and Humanities University on July 2010. The certificate of tourist guide in English tourism at the Ho Chi Minh Economics University on the next month, the certificate of secondary high school education teacher at the Social Sciences and Humanities University, Ho Chi Minh City, on September the same year, and the certificate of primary education teacher in English and the Communication English College CEC, Ho Chi Minh City, on December 2010. I thought everything comes to him who waits. There's a will, there's a way, and you reap what you sow. There's our deeply traditional cultures, blah 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 blah. And after all, I experienced to some tourist companies such as Prague Asia Tours, Asiatica, like Cochin, Pop, Legend Indochina Travel, many, yeah, and they keep only one for me now. Some companies invited me to join into their companies such as Saigon Tours, Buffalo, and so Disney, theater, video tours, etc. But I think maybe next year, after finishing such a heap of things, I try to finish my own website, reset my the own shop and the own market, renovate our own house, prepare our one practical English class to have children and students at home enjoy my own life with my own style, etc. Besides private Asia tours company, I have just accepted some more tours from Asia Pacific tours company, Legend Journey Traveler, and John back in Asia Travel. And I have also accepted some from the other guys in Saigon Tourist Company, and also a small one. They have been busy in some cases, but I don't know. I don't want. I don't want to join in such companies now, because I think that's not for me personally. New houses and buildings are still growing up everywhere. Although the economy in our country has been in a little slump since the last few years, we hope for the good in the future. The longest day must have an end. We think. What do you think now? Maybe still water runs deep, right? Okay, I finished my speech here. Enjoy your life with this time, please, and always feel happy, right? Thanks for watching. Bye for now. See you.